looks that way, as we heard on the desk. Boaster might not agree, but most of the world will see Optic as the best buying team right now. Maybe Fnatic are a close follow-up. We're about to dive into this map, and yes, Optic are the favorites here. They'll start on the attack, but Tom, it doesn't really seem like it matters which side they start on. They just dominate this map start to finish.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of events, the worst first half they've had is 7 rounds. So it's going to be really difficult to play up against that. And even their attacking side, you have players like Ye who are going to basically try and deny any aggression from Loud, which is mostly going to be their plan on this defensive side.
Right away, Optic are looking for a bit of control inside of Bath. They've already put in a flash, seen nothing there. Loud definitely stacking up on this A side, looking to push through on the back of the flash, the nade to push them out of position, but they get nothing for their troubles. They'll reset completely, not wanting to overextend. And the rotations have come through. I mean, the danger here is that Les is all alone on B.
It almost looks like they're playing for delay and playing for the retake, just hoping that this push comes in through towards that A site. Orb going to be collected early, but they're already finding out so much information. I wonder if they'll have to switch things up. And actually, Quincada, he's going to get the opener. I
mean, just too many bodies here. And look at the swing from Sadik. It's not expected. Optic running into a heavier site than they were ready for. And Marv is going to have to do something. The spike is in the open in front of him, trying to retrieve it as his teammates rush into the site and actually carve out a decent bit of map control. Good trades again from Crashies. And that man who was alone on B is now alone on the server.
Yeah, they started off so strong with the openers they got, but the trades back from Optic leave this down to Les. A long rotation all the way back, of course, the trap offline, so he can at least bypass that piece of utility, no problems. The thing is, though, the setup is so passive, and you can see just Crashy starting to get a little bit intrigued as to whether or not he's going to come from that CT spot. For now, though, he's going to see absolutely no one.
Got his orb back as he moves towards the site. Low HP on Crashies, but that might not help. Still with a flash to play with. Marv is coming to swing on through, and Crashies is a little awkward at first, but he closes it out with his triple to you. What a fantastic result for Optic taking the pistol. Now we see if Loud have any special plans for this round. Of course, they're coming in with pistols. Aspis, interestingly, has got the Stinger, and that's not a buy that I think I've ever seen for this kind of round.
No, the Stinger... no shields. I don't know how he's going to make this one work. Of course, on the other side of things, they have themselves full shields on every player. So it's not even like he can sort of get away with, okay, the 2-shot kill like you would on the other side. So I don't know if that was a misfire or if just a specific plan that he has in mind to try and do some damage.
It's definitely a curious one. And look at the pressure they're putting on B main now as Optics. So they're coming over to Hookah. They flashed in. They put through their boom bot. They see no one there. The flash reveals no one. Starting to look pretty convincingly like it's clear. They'll even get a little bit of extra utility to it. The problem is, from Loud's perspective, they have already read that this is a fake. Whether Optic commit to A now or not
look at
is
Crashies.
up for question.
That's the thing. I feel like he's getting far enough that they may just opt to switch things back, and you can see the spike starting to go in that direction as well. This fake is being sold, and eventually the players are just going to run straight back through the TP. Good fake out from Optic, because the running back in towards those latter stages still had its risks about it, but the fact that they managed to just sell a little bit of a fake, all the players are going to stick around. The only danger is actually Marv. He could lose his gun.
Yeah, they know this. That's why they made the push they did, so quickly reacting around middle. He's only got 20 HP. A right click, enough to take him down.
Okay.
The Stinger is the one to find the frag, but Marv has made up for it. They'll go looking for this Bulldog. This is a valuable weapon, and you don't want Aspis to have it. With it removed, this round, I think, altogether can be looked at. Since then, it's just been a dominant North American result time and time again. Round number 3, Optic have got one rifle bought up on Marv. Everyone else has kept their weapons from the previous.
He's already got the orb.
That's the thing.
And this gives them so many opportunities in terms of executes. Now, you can already witness the fact that Loud have started to move players out of lamps. Just basically making that's one of the most obvious spots for them to try and clear. The other is normally the back of the B site, which seems to be the more direct call at the moment, because you can sort of section everything else off with utility, clear some of the close cubby corners, but that back site is always a difficult place to fight from. If they can clear that for free, it becomes incredibly easy for Optic to take this site.
I think Sassy might have tried to bait out the ult as well by putting that Prowler from so far back. You're not really going to get much information from that unless they decide to shoot it. But maybe they think you're in there and then come after you. Surviving on the back side. Decent holdout from Les. All his shields stripped and his health very low at this point. And he's got no support. With his teammates smoked out, he's just going to concede the site. This is the right call.
they managed to hold on to Hookah though. Sanak has almost managed to do that alone, aggressively pushing towards Marv just to make sure that he can't really use that ultimate or even try and bait him into using it. It also gives them a much freer rotation, although that flash hasn't gone to plan.
Not exactly, no. A little bump in the road. Plan secured for Optic, able to play post-plant. Orbital strike online, but while the numbers are thinning out, there's the orbital strike used. They're not quite able to damage the players on the way back out, resetting into duels. It's Pancada, Aspis, Sassy. They've got the numbers to take this, but in dangerous positions. The dropout handled by Aspis. A double for him, the nade catching the first. The rifle for the second. They will end up in a very good position, especially with post-plant orbital strike.
Yeah.
This round was looking a lot more.
And you can see Marv may only have a pistol, but that's because Ye's got an operator.
That's the thing, right? And obviously bought up the rifle previous round. They tried to bolster their buy that little bit extra. You'll take those, and you'll certainly take those. The operator for Ye dropping Pancada off the rip, and Marv has got a weapon should he wish to take it. Although I think the focus is a little bit more on taking the site. You've got those Seekers available, and, well, if they pop them, they'll find only Sassy here.
That's the thing. It will be so much valuable information. I think they're looking to try and get that little bit closer first on towards Long, and the adaptation from Loud is just to have deeper control.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The problem is, there goes that info. Just one going in that direction, clearing out the back of the side for free, and actually Sassy, he's going to get one through the edge of the smoke. This lurk play could be huge from FNS, but he goes down as well.
A perfect honk through, a good kill, and now Loud. Oh, they've got themselves another potential retake. Same position they found value in before.
What?
He tanks though. Oh, that's insane. The boom bot does damage, but not enough to kill. Les is alone, and even with a beautiful dropout.
Bye, sucks.
You want to play?
I never, ever thought that was going to go his way. He just had 15 HP, and there must have been, he was like Neo in the Matrix. Bullets whizzing past him, but calm, cool, collected. Really push up inside of Showers. Now, they're going to try to take the space, but Aspis has declined because he pushed around the smoke. I think he wanted to exec out of it. They could have put, I mean, they don't have flashes over here, right? Maybe a Sky flash through the TP, something like that, but they've completely canceled any sort of aggressive plays. And again, we see this Prowler going out on mid from very far back. It almost makes me think they're clearing that the player hasn't crept up close. So that just shows you how much control Loud have given up for that early fight that got them nothing.
Well, yeah, it's something that Finesse loves to do is just those slow lurks through mid. And with the aggression on the other side, just trying to get a little bit of information off the back of those initiators. That's gone very poorly for Les. They know exactly where he is, and sure, he's going to do a little bit of damage as they make their way through, but this is looking calm and collected so far for Optic, and there's nobody even within the site anymore.
I do like the idea as well for Ye using his ultimate in this round. Nobody can pick up a weapon if they kill him, so you can see him playing a much more heavy lurk role.
They also lost the op. They didn't manage to save it last round, so it's just almost a freebie.
Yeah, but of course he could go for a rifle, something like that, and save that ult for a more important round where your opponents have better weapons. But I like the call, really minimizing how much they can pick up, and now he can recover the weapon from his teammate Finesse, probably not wanting to carry the stinger.
Very big Valorant fans.
As we know. So, all these ultimates online for Loud, one away on Sassy, everyone else has theirs. Viper's Pit. Now, when you look at Optic, I'm really curious to see how they deal with this pit. They've got a ton of utility that could grab them the information, but it looks like they don't want to challenge inside of it. No surprise there. Instead, they're going through the only other angle on this site, a choke point that is now being held
Sadak
constantly.
Needs to do well here.
He
has to. Now, the Tiger's going to give him the information. If they break this and just look to try and pressure him, it could become quite awkward, but instead, they do have the orb to try and slow them down, making sure any of these close angles, and look at the rotation, because they've taken deep hookah control straight away. They're looking to stack this A site up with 4 players. The problem is, Optic, after showing so much info on that side of the map, and now making a move all the way around.
And a good job, too. You just saw the Seize nade land. It would have been at their feet had it have come in 10, 15 seconds earlier. But Optic
got the read.
Shifting it over. They're adapting to the information that they've read, and now Loud are doing exactly the same. At the pace of this round for both teams, they're trying to figure out where the other one is at. But with Loud having this control, it's Pancada. He has his ultimate to play with. If he keeps hookah, this site will be very difficult for Optic to get into, and he's already shut down Marv. That's the control, theirs, and even a showstopper through. I mean, this looks like a death sentence for Optic. 15 seconds, 3 players on the site, and absolutely no way in.
10 seconds left.
Might just be worth holding on to the guns, and well, Les isn't going to allow that for Finesse at least. On the other side of things, Loud want to try and keep this as a boost boost to their economy. So probably not going to hunt down too much, knowing that there's a high likelihood that no matter what...
Inside of Hookah, and then when they fall out, it's difficulty to get that player out of position. But you've had the retake wall in that previous round as well on B site from Viper. So you're playing inside of Hookah, you get your fight, you fall back, and now the wall's up. So even the guys on long can't cover you crossing over. They've got to push through a Viper wall, and it just adds so much more pressure to Optic. That stopping power of a man and a Viper wall worked perfectly in, well, a showstopper as well. I mean, you can't really downplay that one, but we end up at 4-2. Loud, decently bought. Optic, though, they've drained the entire ult economy out of Loud in that previous round. They only have the orbital strike to work with now, and with a showstopper of their own to try and entry, Hookah seems like a great place to have some control of. Again, it is only the one man that's leaning towards there, though, being Marved. He didn't do too well on the...
Oh, what? Okay, Pat Carter. Just a little bit of spam, predicting that they'd taken log control, and well, I don't think you're going to get many kills like that throughout the match. They've also found out that Ye is on this side as well. And there is no commitment to the rest of the map for Optic, so I feel like they're almost stuck in a spot where either they take a huge risk and try and run back towards the A site, or they continue to commit, and they're going to try and go back and clear everything along the way.
Trailblazer just came through, though, and it didn't actually spot many players. If anything, I think it saw them and heard them running away. They're going to try to retake that control, and they've gotten one, but they have to account for the player up close. That Trailblazer was fired out by somebody. Sadik is still around the area. He's making his way through Hookah. With 10 seconds left, if they can get an angle to stop it, it could be everything. And now they own Hookah, a foothold to get back in, and holding over control of Elbow. This is difficult now. Optic are split completely. FNS, I mean, he's alone. Victor's just been wall banged to death. A snake bite making it so much easier, and Finesse has to do it all time. Not really on his side with 3 players to take down, and Pancada has just had another fantastic round. This guy's been on fire so far.
Yeah, he's having a great tournament in general. Like, we've seen that throughout, where I think he's been, like, trading.
They've found it so hard to gain control of it, and even in the previous, to hold control of it.
Yeah.
That part of the map seems to be Loud's, and well, the response from Optic isn't a heavier presence there, more aggression early round. Instead, they look again towards this A site, where Viper utility has constantly been a problem, but this time Viper's on B, so maybe a slightly easier way back through.
Yeah, already though. Molotov gonna delay. It's gonna have to be the rotation back through mid, because they currently don't have control over the showers. Mainly because there's still smokes denying them that space. The defense almost just waiting around the outside, but they are gonna be able to make their way through. The problem is there could be an easy spam to try and deny anything for this plant, and actually they're gonna do it instead with the blast packs.
Oh, wow. A double for Optic, though. They punished completely. And with this sneaky position, even able to creep his way into heaven if he wanted. Oh. There is a constant doubt in the back of Loud's mind. They need to find a safe spot to fight from, and I simply put, there were none. They need a duel right here and now. Time is ticking away with weaker weapons on the side of Optic, but a pit to play inside of. The spike down inside of it, there's not a whole lot that you can see going their way.
Oh.
Control's already too much for Optic, and they close this one out beautifully, only leaving less. 1 versus 3, and the players remaining on Optic have upgraded. They're back up to 3 rifles. They've got time, they've got utility, still the pit up. It's done. Les is out of here, and a 5th has been found for Optic.
I'll be honest, I think Optic were almost expecting that this would be a round where, okay, let's see how far we can get. Maybe we use the Viper's Pit. Don't want to, in all honesty, once they have got into the after plant, it looked pretty deadly.
Again, this Molly going over. We've seen different lineups coming through. One from short, this one right at the start of the round, catching anybody going back towards elbow. Optic are slow to move on the back of it, but a flash coming through, blinds them up, gets an orbit online. Crashies now has his ult, and the Seekers, well, they seem to be soon on their way. Marv has lost this duel almost every time, and now he's been spotted, tagged up, and taken down. Another fantastic hold of Hookah, but how goes the sight? Because Crashies is already on there, spike in hand towards the elbow. The smoke not fully blocking them out. There could be an opportunity here, especially with the nade online.
Just gonna have to try and play this one safe. Finesse in a decent position, but he's not gonna find anything again. Hookah control just being the bane of their existence, and look how passively Les is holding. He's just playing this one nice and patient. This duel is gonna be everything, and he's gonna win it. It leaves Crashies alone. A man you'd want in these sort of scenarios, but can he pull off the 1v3?
He's been the clutch player in the past, but his HP already at half. 3 players, and it's the first to take him down. Les on the Viper, grabbing a 4th round here for Loud. And again, that hookah control, it's always been something in this game that Loud have faced.
Try and blitz their way through, and there are a few players setting up in that direction early in this round.
Again, this utility comes through, wall up, orb up. Whether you send someone with it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's about taking the info out of their hands. Again, we lose a player over towards Hookah. They try to double up and take it together, but Aspas is holding strong. They know for sure that Marv is here. It's gonna have to get those Crocs into sport mode again if they're going back towards the A site. Finesse has got a lot of space for them, but now a kill on B, and it kind of goes up in the air. They have a ton of options on where they take it, and in fact, they might almost just slow it down. See if Finesse can find anything from this spot.
They have to be aware of the potential of him doing this. Like, they were trying to deny this in earlier rounds and setting it just straight away, like, okay, let's just use Seekers. We'll find out where these players are going to be, and they've spotted that they're rotating through. Even having less go back around just to make sure that they can't wrap through lamps, and just holding to make sure they have this crossfire. The only real danger is going to be Ye on the other side.
Seeker dove on Finesse. Caused a bit of a headache. Look at the
dead.
push coming up from behind. Fantastic stuff from Ye. A great lurk, space taken, and he's gone. He's down, the cover no longer there. They'll TP, they'll rotate, but Aspas has kept the control! Aspas alone wins this round for Loud. 4 kills. That is...
Or having to fight through that lower bracket.
Let's play.
A fantastic face to Loud so far. Tied up at 5-5, the advantage still to be played for at halftime. Now, Loud have stacked up on B long. This is control you said you wanted to see them take, and so far, as we said, they've held Hookah flawlessly every round. After an Optic timeout, though, they shift their play completely.
They sent Ye. That's how you know they're taking things seriously. They sent El Diablo to clear it out, and this time, there's absolutely no one there. It's a complete role reversal. Maybe that's what Loud were actually expecting. Like, okay, we've had this control, they've had that control, let's try and switch it up. The only problem is it allows this tour de force to just run riot. If anybody peeks anywhere near this angle, they're in danger, and he's actually waiting to hold the rotations.
Yeah, I think if you consider Hookah's being the danger place, you've got an orbital strike coming in here, you've got a timeout just called, like they're gonna have an idea of how to take that back. Great adaptation from Loud, but now we've got to see how they handle not having this control. And for a second, I thought Sadik was about to jump up in there to check it, which I would have lost my mind. You got 2 info characters there. He dodged the flash. Oh, that could have been awkward if someone tried to swing with it. Luckily, they didn't. Oh, God. Victor's being destroyed. The showstopper online. It's, well, oh, wait. He's got 2. Not a chance he even got 1 there. I thought they're looking at him, but Finesse coming ahead. This is the round we needed to see from this guy. He's had a tough half so far, but we've equalized it up. 3v3, spike planted, post plans to be played with Ye pressure from both sides. Another flash coming in, and Marv can't see a damn thing, but Finesse again! The 3rd kill of the round! He's going absolutely nuclear! What is that round from Finesse? This man came into this
Paddy's round. That's all we got to say.
8 times 5 this kills! Wow.
He's, well, Les has just managed to get
Viper's
Pit. Oh, he's just about gonna make it out of there. He's getting healed up as well, and they're gonna use the Viper's Pit as cover. Crashy's hoping maybe he can find something off the back of it, and actually that flash sort of faked out a rotation. You can see Sassy now moving all the way back, and the timing could be wonderful for Optic.
Yeah, it's because they had to fall back to get that heal, right? You don't want to stand inside the pit and a stray bullet takes you down while you're healing your guys, so they go back to elbow. They have to use a Trailblazer to confirm nobody was pushing up on it, about to take the control, and that then leaves them in this spot where A is almost like a retake, but still holding on to that crucial position of Showers. The rotation this time a little more cautious, making sure there's no one around them, but that might even play out as the fake, or a disengage from an impending Doom duel. Instead, they reset, and with 45 seconds left on the clock, they need to make a decision on where to go, but they haven't really found a foothold anywhere.
Flash through. Crashies knowing that they still have control in this direction, and Optic, they've tried to play with the rotations, but ultimately they failed. This fight could be everything, and Sassy just about able to deny it. Also Pancada getting a couple of kills and doing so well off the back of his ultimate. It leaves it all on to Crashies. 20 seconds left. Chances looking impossible. The fact is he's got a rotation coming in from behind. He's going to get the TP timing almost perfect, though. That should at least allow him a plant, and maybe even the Seekers as well.
Yeah, he's got to be quick. If they got anywhere near this site, if a player had rotated 2 seconds earlier, it could be done. Indeed, it will be anyways. Loud tying it up at the halftime. This is a map that Optic are hailed as the kings of the world on, but Loud are challenging for that crown in the first half. Time and time again, we've mentioned the teams they've beaten even at this tournament and in recent memory, some of the best in the world. Absolutely. Moving in towards the B site quickly. Utility, look how much is coming their way. These players are stunned up and soon to be gunned up, but the Viper Wall, the TPs, have changed Loud's mind.
They're running all the way back. They basically have to. There's already 4 players on the other side, but the thing is, the 5th player they've left behind is the one you least want to run into. Yay, in an elevated angle, he gets to freebie onto the planter. It's not an angle you'd normally clear, but the fact is he's just delayed them so much. Even with a single kill, they've had to completely reset the plant, and the trades are going again in Optic's favor, or at least they were. Les has managed to turn it back! What a couple of headshots out from him!
To a flying start. Optic have not decided to go for a force buy. They're playing 5 classics. I suppose they're playing a headhunter on Ye, which with 4 bullets could get close. Luckily, the first doesn't land.
You know, he's only got 3 left.
You only kill half your team.
Yeah, exactly. It's not so worrying anymore. And actually, the entire team is rotating away from Ye, which I completely agree with as a sentiment. The thing is, though, the delay that Crashies has been able to pull off actually allows the full team to rotate in towards this B site. They've left Ye behind to play solo. But if this isn't cleared properly, this could actually get pretty dangerous for Loud.
I'll say we don't have Aspas and Hookah, so he's not going to be like satcheling in, doing this crazy play, at least you'd imagine. Nade and Snake Bite not landing for damage or kills, and they'll pump the brakes, but 50 seconds, stacked up classics, limited time to make a decision. This is a scary spot to be in. Look, classics on their own, you should be able to take them down, but when they have these crossfires, 4 players able to, 3 players able to swing at any time, that causes problems. The flash was good, the follow-up not there, with Sassy eliminating everyone on the B site. It's left in the hands of Ye.
Unfortunately, Marv was just a little too thick. That's all it really was. He had the extra C and he was spotted from behind. He's actually just headshot him through the wall. He's got no headhunter bullets left. It's fine. Thankfully, he used a few of them earlier, and that
the best weapon to have. Those tracers can give you away. Optic's early plan, the flash down long confirms players here, destroy some utility, try to deny that free control they could be getting if these Prowlers went uncontested. But those smokes are coming down, and it looks like Loud are picking up the pace completely. They are rushing in, at least that's how it appeared. Losing out on any hookah control might change their mind a little bit.
I think also just the spam, just not allowing them to get through that choke point too quickly. Counter nade out. On the cross, actually, a shot connected by Pancada, but it's at the expense of Aspas. And they're still just trapped towards this position. Also, the deep hold that's there from Ye on the other side means they don't need to rotate. And Victor, double headshot. He's now looking to try and ace this out. Could even get the ult online if he manages to find that final man. And while the crowd wants him to go for this, although it seems he might get beaten to the point. Never mind.
The chance is still on. The ace could be his. It's a 3v1 though. This isn't a moment for bravado. Close the round out any way you can. And it's with Victor on the floor. Ace, unfortunately, sometimes you gotta play for the team, play for the win. 1 round between them and Optic. Well, I see Finesse he's gone for a different weapon. It's not quite the rifle. The Prowler has gone right past him.
Oh no.
The judge.
Oh, he might have actually spotted him, and he's still going to get the kill. The judge giveth and the judge taketh away. That has gone as badly as it could have. Okay, Aspas is going to be a little low, but they should be able to get him healed up. Unfortunately, Sadak is on the other side of the map, and Crashy's going to go re-aggressive, but he loses the fight as well.
This man, if he stood a pixel or 2 further forward, that judge would have taken him down. And instead, he's ended up with 2 kills. A fantastic game Aspas is playing here today. Now the advantage for Loud. Let's see how they can close it out, or if Optic have got something up their sleeve. 3-man stacked up on A, hoping the rotation comes through. But Tom, we can see that spike and the rest of the team gravitating towards the B site. Looks like they might have a pretty easy time.
Heal up, squad.
It seems like they've basically committed to either just fighting this on the A side or maybe saving the weapons. The deep push is probably going to tell Optic a little bit late that
30 seconds left.
This is going to be a B play. For Loud, this is such a huge opportunity in this second half. Already looking to get up to 9 rounds, and As I said, I don't expect the Optic players to even rotate here. It's just not worth throwing the weapons away.
Yeah, it really is. Just too much of an investment already taking place. And, you know, Ye is getting decently close to his ulti. If there was a possibility that he could come out of this with a kill, that would be huge, but probably not worth even losing the weapon for. Whether he gets a choice or not is a different thing.
He looks like he disagrees, because he is pushing quite far forward, especially in comparison to the rest of the team. I guess, as you said, 1 kill and a death is actually an upgrade for Ye.
1 kill and survive, even better.
True.
If he gets an orb, he can drop his teammate a weapon, and all of a sudden, it's a full buy. You've got a showstopper there, and you've got Ye with a tour de force, which at this point, well, he's either going to have that Vandal, or he's going to have his ult next round. You probably just want him to survive. Make it a little harder so he doesn't have that ulti right off the bat. And we saw there, Aspas, 2 kills. The only 2 kills.
This round, though, he's still going to have the rifle. Now, I assume that Ye's plan will just be to try and find a kill, and damn, this is aggressive from Optic on the other side of the map, pushing all the way through. It almost goes their way, but Loud will be able to stabilize. All 3 players gone. Ye again left on the other side of the map, but a single kill could turn this back.
This game has been neck and neck the whole way. This round could leave Optic with very little. So many of their players low on cash. Now, Ye's going to have his ult next round, but he needs this clutch. Problem is, Orbital Strike, Viper's Pit, and a 1v3. Late rotation out of Pancata. He's got the spike. If he goes down here, this could be bad. The damage, though, it's huge. 48 HP left on Ye. Finesse on the B side. He's completely out of this for now. Has to be Ye to try and do something, and he's caught.
Last player standing.
Yeah, Finesse was taking his time to go and get a gun on the other side of the map. Had to make sure that he wasn't just facing into a lurker. And we saw him get a 4K earlier. This one would be so much more important, but Les doesn't even give him an opportunity. 10 rounds.
He popped out here to try bridge the gap. And you've heard it there. They are so dead. Well, if they step into Ye's sight lines, they sure will be. Look at how cautious Loud are being, though. We've seen that in the previous round. 3 players were swinging out on B long, looking for those duels. This time, Pancata's basically in their spawn, jump spotting it. He won't even be caught by the flash.
On the other side of the map, though, Sadak has just walked through showers. So they have the information of where he's going to be. The main spots you're going to have are on the extremities, although he's going chasing all the way down towards their spawn. And then they've got the cheaper weaponry just hiding within the smoke. None of the bullets currently connecting, but they have been spotted. And eventually the spray comes through. Marv still does well to get 1 and a dink onto a second. And while Finesse, so close to taking a kill away, but they're just getting wiped out.
Yeah, look at the HP. 2 on Sassy, 29 on Pancata. If these fights go their way, maybe there's even 2 more players alive on Optic right now. They could have the advantage. Instead, it's Ye left to do it all, and with the weapon in his hands, he's not even going to... Okay, not going to take advantage of low HP players, I say. But he's just walked out, taking down 2 to the headhunter. But he's gone. He's dealt with. It was look. If they lose this, Loud guaranteed an OT with 5 chances to close. That just cannot happen.
They could get all 5 ults online for Loud in one of the most crucial rounds. I don't even think I saw a pixel there. Just a slight jump spot is enough for Les to go down. He's been one of the best performers so far for Loud, and finally an opening duel going in their favor, but it's so quickly traded out. On either side of the map, they're able to get a couple of kills, and now Crashy's looking to fight alongside them within hookah.
He's left to 19, pops the Seekers, the panic in full effect. They the control now taken. As you can see, Victor following the Seekers down, and somehow that didn't get him. Luckily, he will follow back through and leave Sadak alone. The 1v3, unlikely. It's being watched by Ye, and even blind, he'll hit that shot, and much needed.
Not gonna get any easier.
No, it definitely isn't. Now, we've seen this ult used over on Loud's side previously. Optic will do the same, taking control of Belong, holding it, and looking elsewhere. You would imagine Loud will be trying to grab some control to counter that, right? This is free information, free map control for Optic. But for now, they are pumping the brakes. I'm not sure what this signals on their side. They're expecting a push, perhaps. But with 1:12 left on the clock, we're starting to see the gravitation to B. Hookah controls being conceded completely. It wasn't somewhere Optic really wanted to fight for much on the attack. Makes sense, it's not somewhere they defend all that much either.
Well, the thing is, they've got Ye watching it at distance with an operator. Not going to be an easy kill. He switches to the headhunter, and this time, well, it's not instantaneous. The thing is, they've thrown out that Nightfall, and they got nothing. They just got delayed through hookah enough that ult basically just found a tag Okay, sure, it got rid of the Viper's Pit, but that wasn't worth the trade.
And this has allowed Optic to reset completely, even healing Ye up, getting him on an angle. They had an orb up to block any sort of a peek coming out of Hookah, so he was free to hold long the entire time.
30
And
seconds left.
looking over at this site, getting onto it doesn't seem difficult. Getting the spike planted will be 20 seconds left on the clock. Orbital strike online for Marv, the nade coming through from Victor. They are denied the control for now, and as they step back in, you can see the ulti in hand. It's going down from above. Marv has taken the kills, and with that, probably the round. They need a plant right now, and it will be denied. 4 seconds as they fall. Crashies closing the round. And
Used in that previous round, which ultimately garnered Loud nothing.
now look what they're working with. Next to nothing on the attack. Victor up top here. He's in a little bit of danger. Nade gonna be deployed. The Prowler hitting him and everything. Marv turning at the wrong moment. That's crucial control removed. A weapon upgrade and a sight in Loud's hands. They've got a Viper's Pit, Tom. They can put this down, and the round all of a sudden starts to look favored towards them. They're healing up as well. But no, this Viper's Pit is not on the site. It's in their spawn. Loud are looking to take the fight to Optic or force them to waterfall out of heaven, which is often to certain death. But for now, no one's watching it.
The thing is, though, is to play from distance is not going to be particularly easy for the remaining players. They can get towards that spike, almost wrapping around the Viper's Pit. So this really could be problematic for Loud, that they might almost have to start playing out of it in a matter of seconds. The orbital strike is going to buy them that time. They expected this to happen, but the trades are coming through once again. I think they even have the Seekers one more time as they start to win every single battle. It's left onto Pancada. He has delayed them a little bit. The shot connected eventually, and I think the time is gone. He might have just done it off of that alone. Loud will delay just enough.
World have failed to do up against Optic.
It's not a death sentence, but it is a statement. To come in, to bind a map that even in the past they haven't been able to beat them on, and look to take the lead in the series that could send them to the grand final. Still, the weaponry, not the best for Loud. It's still a better purchase for Optic just because of the cost of the previous. And 3 rounds in a row for Optic, well, we've seen them do it a million times.
We have. No, it's certainly not over. And with an initial tag, taking Sadik. He's at 14 HP. He can't get healed. No one on this team can help him out. Now he's pure support. 1 flash to work with. Trailblazer already used. Dedicated spike carrier. That's his role from now on. 50 seconds on the clock. They're looking for B. And look at Optic's setup. I mean, it is gorgeous. They've got a wall. They've got a sky to flash through that wall. Potential retake coming in from Victor, who still has his nade online. And then we mentioned Ye, who we saw at the start of the round holding this angle. He hasn't moved ever since.
It seems like they're almost waiting for them to make this move. It looks like a trap, and Sadik, he's so desperately low. He's going to go down straight away. The orb sections the remaining players apart, and the spike is down on the site. 20 seconds left. You might even just have to hold on to the weapons, especially now. Pancada on just 3 HP. There's nothing that Loud can do in this round. Again, they've waltzed into the trap that Optic has set, and double digits will be held.
Well, Victor may be a Chad, but he was looking like a beta raise right there. 2 nades thrown in 5 seconds. This guy was just lobbing them out. Nothing Loud can do, diving through a Viper's flash from the sky. There it is. It's on its way. It's popping. And with a blast pack, Aspis is already up close. Now the molly goes down. The control is theirs. They can grab an orb. But that is the trade that Optic are willing to make. You can have your control in your orb. We'll keep on ranged fights.
Well, that's the thing as well. Optic already have hookah control and deep B long control. So they're not going to be rotating anybody off any of their angles on the A site until it is ultimately pressured, and that's going to be Pancada's job. If he kills Finesse, there's a pretty decent chance that Optic's setup completely falls apart. Instead, though, they're taking their time, just hoping that someone on the other side of things over-aggresses, and at the moment, with this double stack into mid, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, very disciplined play from Optic. They know where their point of contact is. And outside of that, everyone else is spotting their angle, holding for extra information, but ultimately waiting for these guys on mid to get the fight, and it looks like it's coming their way. 40 seconds on the clock. No ultis for Loud, but still a flash to play with here for Sadik. They'll assume there's a player holding this angle, whether they decide to fully commit. There's the flash. Okay, they've seen him up top. He turns! I thought that was on. I thought it was a kill. It was damn close. Still Loud get to take a few steps closer. They've lost a player, and then they've recovered. What are those fights for Sadik with a double kill? Optic are now having to play re.
Oh! It's almost a couple of kills coming through, but they just wipe out the remaining players. A faster play in towards that mid push, and the battles being won by Sadak and Pancada, Loud are going to take themselves bind. I think that was something that most, including myself, thought was an impossibility. And the terrifying prospect for Optic is, you look at the next two maps, Ascent, probably the best map of Loud, and Breeze, one they smashed them on earlier in the tournament with an 11-1 defensive half. This is now, well, what seems like a landslide first map in terms of the fact that you now have to climb that mountain once again.
It's a crazy thing to imagine. I mean, Optic have rarely come into this map and had more than 1 or 2 rounds versus a team where they look a little confused, where they're caught off guard, and they have to call those pauses and say, okay, but they figure it out afterwards. That's always been the difference. Right here, Loud kept them on their toes. They had so many ideas of where they wanted to take things, and besting Optic on bind, I agree with what you said earlier. It's not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination. This was a close game, 13-10. Ye still performed. The reality is, though, this map was guaranteed for Optic, and now the series is wide open for Loud to take it on one of the next two.
God, they've done this before in the upper bracket of an international event, just been able to make their way through into that final, and then we saw Optic return to prevalence. The question will be, can Optic now do that within this series? They are not a bad Ascent team, but at previous events they've lost to Loud, they lost to Exet earlier in a close series, and now they're going to have to step up and show what